Do you wish you had a more aesthetically pleasing way of displaying your board games? Or do you just want to breathe new life into your worn out game boxes? You totally can. Hello, everybody. Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to learn how to create pretty DIY board game boxes to display your game collection in a gorgeous way. These pretty book boxes are the perfect way to maximize space and beautify your game storage, and I can't wait to share how to make them. I'm sure you've noticed how bright and colorful they are. Can you guess how we transformed plain white fabric boxes into a vibrant display? Now, before I reveal my secret to adding color, let's talk boxes. I found this set of boxes that are just like hollowed out books. The faux pages look realistic and the cover opens up so you can see the contents inside. Since these boxes are made with wood, they're very sturdy and capable of handling the wear and tear that comes with frequent family game nights. Each set has a small, medium, and large box, so you can choose whichever size fits your game best. If your game board is a little too large for your book box, I also have a way to create additional folds for your boards, so you'll want to stick around if you'd like to learn about that. Now, the outside of the boxes are made with a white linen fabric, which is sleek and elegant as is. But I wanted to show you how to add some color to your books to really make them pop. Have you guessed how we're going to do that yet? That's right, we are painting them. I tested a lot of mixtures and found the perfect ratio to easily create beautiful colors using this acrylic paint and some textile medium. So I'll share that with you. And of course, we need some way to label our book box covers so we know which game is inside. For that, we'll be using Cricut iron-on vinyl, otherwise known as heat transfer vinyl or HTV, which goes on great even after painting our boxes. I also have 3 designs already made for you, one for each box: a card game, a dice game, and a tile game. If you'd like to learn more about customizing your game cover designs, I have information on that for you as well. Once you have your cover designs, you'll need a way to cut them from your vinyl. My free downloadable designs come with a printable PDF to help you cut everything by hand if you need to. But you can also use my SVG and DXF files for a cutting machine, which will work much faster and more precise. I'm going to use my Cricut Maker cutting machine to make sure my cuts are clean, but you can also use any Cricut Explorer series machine, the Cricut Venture, the Cricut Joy Extra for this as well. So, are you ready to transform your board game collection into a library of colorful books that looks fantastic with any decorating style? Let me show you where to get my free files, and then we'll paint, cut, and assemble these adorable board game boxes together. Step 1. Get my free Gamebox designs. First, download my Gamebox designs at jennifermaker.com/681. You can either download right from that link by saving the project, or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, and then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 681 and click the link to download the designs. And if you're not sure how to do this, visit jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to download and unzip files. In the SVG folder, you'll find versions of my designs to cut on a cutting machine. There's also a DXF folder with cut files as well, and a PDF folder with versions that you can print and cut by hand. The designs are sized for the book boxes in my materials list, so you'll find small, medium, and large file versions. There's also a pieces file with some common board game pieces that you can use to create your own design. Step 2. Paint your board game box. Before we can add our vinyl, we need to prepare our box. Lay down 2 layers of butcher paper to protect your work surface. Now, since we're painting just the fabric on the box, you'll want to completely cover the box's fake pages with painter's tape. Next, remove any stickers and use a lint roller to remove any debris or loose fibers. Next, put on a pair of disposable gloves to keep your hands clean. In a disposable measuring cup, add 2 parts acrylic paint to 1 part textile medium. I'll use my entire 2-ounce bottle of paint and add 1 ounce of the medium. Then add at least 1 part tap water. Stir the mixture with a paintbrush until it's thin and drips easily, adding more water if needed. Thinning out the paint like this results in a smoother application, and it requires less paint for full coverage, so this should be enough to paint the whole box. Next, paint the box's front with a smooth, even coat. The fibers soak up the paint quickly, so it may be patchy at first, but keep going. If you start to run out of paint, you can follow the same ratios to mix some more. Just use as much of your original batch as possible first to reduce color inconsistencies. Now keep one gloved hand clean so you can move the book without getting too messy. Turn the spine upward and then paint it. Paint the book's back cover as well, and then open the box and paint the inside fabric edges. Make sure to paint any thin or hidden spots of fabric too. Use a wet paper towel with a drop of dish soap to remove any spots of unwanted paint on the pages or liner. Stand the open box on one end to begin drying. Set a timer for 60 minutes to rotate the book and keep it from sticking to the butcher paper. Then let it dry for at least another 7 hours, or up to 24 hours for the best results. Step 3. Prepare and cut your iron-on vinyl decal. I'm going to show you how to cut this using a Cricut cutting machine and Cricut Design Space. Here is the large tile game version of the board game box on my canvas in Cricut Design Space. The front cover design is on the left. The vertical bar on the right is the game title for the book spine. Click Save and give your project a name. Click the Ungroup icon to ungroup the design. I always recommend ungrouping because they usually come in grouped by default. This design is meant to fit the large box from the set in my supply list. This box is approximately 9 inches wide and 12 inches high, with a depth of 3 inches for the spine. If you use a different set of boxes, use a ruler to measure the width and height of your large box's front cover. Record the dimensions and then do the same for the spine. Check that the design elements are smaller than your box's cover and spine. If you need to resize an element, select it and keep the lock icon in the size menu at the top closed to maintain its proportions. Click and drag one of the corner resize handles on the element's bounding box to make the design smaller or larger as needed to fit your box. To leave a 1/2 inch margin between the design's border and the box's edges, the design's dimensions should be 1 inch smaller than the box's. If you'd like to change an element's color to match your vinyl, click on it. Then click the color box and choose the option you want. Your vinyl decals are now ready to cut. Make sure the correct machine is selected in the top right, and then click Make. On the Prepare screen, make sure the correct material size is selected for your materials. I'll use the 12 by 12 inches setting. Move the elements so they're easy to cut apart with scissors later on. Toggle on Mirror since we'll cut the design from heat transfer vinyl. Then click Continue. On the Make screen, set the base material for your mat. I use the Everyday Iron-On setting with more pressure for cleaner cuts. Place your iron-on vinyl shiny side down on a green standard grip machine mat. Use a brayer to make sure it's fully adhered. Check that your premium fine-point blade is clean and in the clamp, and then press the flashing load and unload button to load the prepared mat into your Cricut cutting machine. And then press that middle button to begin cutting. When the cuts are complete, unload the mat and lay it face up on your work surface. But don't release the iron-on vinyl just yet, since it can be easier to weed vinyl, especially if it has small detailed designs like this, while it's still adhered to your machine mat. Use your weeding tool to remove the excess vinyl around the designs and inside any letters. I like to work from larger to smaller sections during weeding. Once your design is weeded, flip over your mat and roll it back to release the vinyl. Then use scissors to cut your decals into 2 separate pieces, with each decal's elements on a single piece of the carrier sheet. Your decals are now ready to apply. Step 4. Apply the iron-on vinyl decal to your board game box. To begin, preheat your heat press. I'm going to use the Cricut Easy Press set to 340 degrees Fahrenheit or 171 degrees Celsius with the timer set for 5 seconds. If you're using a different type of heat press or a different type of iron-on vinyl even, my HTV cookbook has recipes for many combinations. You can get it over at jennifermaker.com/HTV cookbook. Place your dry painted book box on a solid surface. Make sure the front cover is on top and it opens the way you want. And keep it closed while we're applying the vinyl. Use a lint roller to clean the box's front cover. Once your Easy Press is at the right temperature, cover the box with a sheet of white uncoated butcher paper. Then use the press to preheat the entire front cover for 5 seconds to remove moisture. Place your press back on the base after using, remove the butcher paper, and allow the book box cover to cool. Place the cover decal vinyl side down on the box's front cover, making sure the border is an even distance from the edges. If your alignment isn't quite right, lift up the carrier sheet to move and reposition the decal. Press down on the sticky parts of the clear carrier sheet and tape down its corners with heat-resistant tape to keep the decal in place while pressing. Then cover the box with a sheet of white uncoated butcher paper. Make sure the temperature of your Easy Press is at 340 degrees and set the timer for 60 seconds. Heat the entire front cover decal with strong pressure for 60 seconds. If you can't heat the entire design at once, try to heat it evenly in sections without too much overlap. When the time is up, lift the press straight up. Allow the vinyl to cool and then slowly peel up the carrier sheet. If any vinyl areas don't stick well, like the thin pieces around the border, replace the carrier sheet and butcher paper. Then repress in 30-second increments. Allow time to cool between presses too. Once the cover is done, set the box on its side with the spine facing up and the front cover facing away from you. Place heavy items like books or other board games against both the flat sides of the box to keep it upright. It helps to use items a little shorter than the box so the spine is a flat surface to press. Use a lint roller to clean the box's spine. Make sure your heat press is at 340 degrees and the timer is set to 5 seconds. Then preheat the spine and allow it to cool. Center the decal on the book spine, vinyl side down. Make sure the words are readable when the book's cover is facing up, or if you tilt your head to the right when the book is standing up with the spine facing you, just like a regular book spine. Cover the spine with butcher paper. Then press the vinyl decal, keeping the box steady and moving the press as little as possible. Once the decals are fully adhered, your DIY board game box is ready to go. Step 5, show it off. You now have a colorful board game box to easily store your tile game, and it looks so good. Step 6, customize it. If you love this board game box but wish you could make one with your own game title, I can show you how to customize the design to look exactly the way you want it. You can get the template that I made, learn how to design your own box cover, and even find the instructions to fit a large game board into your smaller book box through a special program I have called Advance with Jennifer Maker over at jennifermaker.com/advance. The Advance program helps to advance your crafting skills by teaching you how to make these popular designs unique and special through my tutorials and templates, as well as give you advanced access to my vast library of designs, projects, and resources. Plus, we have cool things like member challenges and extra unpublished files that I share, and just a ton of really cool perks. Now, I may or may not be accepting new members into the advanced program at the time you see this, but if you're interested, go to jennifermaker.com/advance to learn more and see how it all works. So here are my finished board game boxes. I love how easy these are to make and how I can create so many different color combinations for each game thanks to all the acrylic paint and iron-on vinyl that we have available. And since both the cover and the spine are labeled, I can arrange my book boxes however I like. I really love the stack setup, especially as a table accent, but standing them upright on a shelf looks just as lovely. Which way do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you're interested in taking customization one step further and creating your own iron-on vinyl decal designs for your boxes, don't forget to check out my advanced program to learn more about that, plus other ways to use HTV to personalize your projects. Or you might like to learn how to cut and reassemble a game board to fit into a smaller box, and if so, the advanced program can show you that too. And if you need a Cricut cutting machine to make fun things like this, I give them away regularly over at jennifermaker.com/Cricut giveaway. Visit to get all the details and enter for your chance to win. I am an enabler after all. If you have any Cricut or craft-related questions that you think I can help you with, please let me know. Just leave your question below this video or ask over in our awesome Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters. And I would love it if you would share a photo of your finished board game boxes with us in our group. In fact, I would love to see them sitting in your living rooms or your offices or wherever you want to put them. I especially like seeing them like decorating a room, right? Because that's really the idea here, because they look so awesome. I really can't wait to see what you create. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.